Wait for some people to show up. Ooh,
Tell you.
yeah,
Oh, and he's running his mouth too.
yeah.
Oh, oh.
Josh, what's good? Churches, le onk. I like to announce like the first five people. Big Mark, what's going on, man? Appreciate you picking up the book. I can't wait for some dialogue on it. Jeff, what's going on, man? Hey, I'm assuming that Auburn was off this weekend because they lost. They didn't lose.
It's a lot of hate you got.
Hey, it's just the norm. This is the norm.
There you go, man.
Yo, Tony, what's good, bro? Hey, Big Sammy Nicholas. Hey, it ain't petty if it's real. It ain't petty if it's real. Hey, Mia, don't come in here. Look, get your cup, bro. Man. What you doing? What are you doing?
Man, dude.
And don't come in here barking at folks either, man.
He's like, hey, you left it out there. So.
Hey, tell Gus, hey, look, keep Gus. Hey, we done upgraded. You see this equipment we working with, right? This shit about to be, you know what I'm saying, on another level. So for this episode, I'm gonna let the NFL play in the background and stuff, man. Cause you know, we don't reach that point where every topic is up for discussion, sports and all that stuff. So this is just a free floating session or whatever. Hey man, if you haven't already, go ahead and get the book. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and edit this thing. I should have put the damn link in the live. I'll know better next time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but again, what's going on? Who all here, man? Don't say another word about it. You. All right, I'm gonna be nice, man. Okay. So we go ahead and mute this. We're gonna look at it and we'll chime in every now and then. All right. So who we got here, man? We got a few folks. We go ahead and start talking. So my man Marquis is in the back. This first guest I've had, so I'd like to go ahead and introduce him. A lot of y'all that know me might know him, but if you don't, you don't. So that's on him to introduce himself. And my man keeps a fresh story because just like women struggle with being single, men do too, you know. And my man's a good guy, and I can't speak highly enough about him. I'd rather him talk about himself at this point. Let me see what else am I missing. Now I just want to walk you into this situation the right way, man. But because like let me just wait, because I know some other people gonna show up. Drew, what's good, cuz? Let me wait for some more people to show up. Like we just bullshit in the meantime.
Okay.
So, like, I didn't put it on the topic list, but the situation dealing with these white shooters has desensitized me so much that I don't even have to reinvent any new narratives. I've already said that nothing changes in America until white people get offended enough by it. And for white people that are just now tuning in for the first time and hearing my opinion on these things is that meaning that I get that some white people are actually allies in equality, trying to the distribution of justice, voting, and all that stuff too, which is another topic I'll get to in a little while. But my overarching point is that nothing in America has ever changed until white people have gotten offended enough by it in order to do something about it. So and that's kind of where we are right now. So that's why, like, I didn't list the recent mass shootings, which is something I'll talk about offline. You know, as a key point of discussion. because it's so normal and it's so America that at this point, like if y'all don't want to do nothing about it, we can't do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Black people ain't never been able to fake shit. We ain't been able to do nothing but make white people uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying, about talking about race. So at this point, you know what I'm saying, that's y'all problem. You know what I'm saying? We ain't pulling up in those synagogues. It may sound insensitive, but that's not the case. The lack of empathy that we have received over time has made us callous to situations that white people have accepted, and they have used certain terminology and dialogue that have made that comfortable for us. So right now in America, where the alignment of politics and social construct, right now you have to accept the bed that you made. You bought the mattress. You know what I'm saying? So like right now, this is not a problem where we have to come together, because we only come together when black people are involved, when it deals with the Olympics, when we're playing football or entertaining white people or whatever. So until white people deem that mass shootings are a problem on the left, same with the same intensity that they deemed crack as being a problem, even though they invented crack and put it in our neighborhoods, and white people were unaffected by that largely in population. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, hey man, fix your issue. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to know about, but that's it. But without further ado, I'm gonna let my boy Marquis do some talking, man, and I'm gonna ask a couple questions, you know what I'm saying, about his situation, because like we talk all the time. We've been cool for over a decade. We deployed Iraq together. I since got out of the army. He's still in the army, but that's irrelevant because his situation don't change based on who he is. So I'm gonna let him go ahead and talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna chime in and give my thoughts as we go. You know what I'm saying? So bring some levity to the situation, because most of it's comedy, but you know, it's still relevant for what I got to contribute. Go ahead, Marquis.
Okay, so the topic that you want to lead into is what, single, right?
Yeah. We talking about this story time. Single black male fleeing the scene. That's what I titled it as. You know.
That's horrible, by the way.
It is horrible. It is horrible. But that don't mean it ain't accurate though either.
Well, like I said, I have a couple stories, but I'll get to one. Hey, I think a lot of people out there maybe are familiar with Tinder or any kind of dating app, and a lot of times the rationale for using it is, hey, you're a busy person, you know, you don't want to just go to like a same bar or don't know where to go to meet people, so you make the attempt to, you know, it's almost like a marketplace, so to speak. All right, so you know, I used that and then met someone. Now, in hindsight, maybe there should have been some more background, ground rules or something, you know, before meeting. But hey, I believe it should just be like a gateway. Like, hey, you talk to somebody, then you meet somewhere, maybe for like coffee or a drink or something. And then from there, it should progress how it's going to progress, right?
Well, let me interrupt you right there. So that was based on what experience though? Because like when we talk, I know you have been living in Europe for a while. You live
Yes.
in Italy specifically, right?
Yes.
So you have a different outlook on, you have a different expectation management level. You know what I'm saying, when it comes down to, you know, like dating, I guess you could say. So tell us more about your experience in Europe before you give us a little bit more about this specific experience that you just encountered here in what is known to be Central Texas.
Okay. Well, background with that is I've lived in Europe for 16 and a half years. So 10 years as a kid growing up in Germany. And then parents retired. And then I, you know, enlisted, and I was stationed in Germany prior to living in Italy. So for 6.5 years, I was, you know, in Europe. I was European, so to speak. So, you know, my thoughts on living somewhere is you try to always, you know, ingratiate yourself with culture, surroundings, just so you have like a better time. Plus, when you're in Europe, you want to experience that stuff because a lot of times you won't have the opportunity to, enjoy some of that
Yeah,
stuff.
live in the moment, take in what you can get from it, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Don't let your experiences become you, but let it make you who you are. If that makes sense.
Yes. So there was no, back to the subject. Wasn't really like nobody was using an app.
Mm-hmm.
You just would go places and meet people, and that primarily was pretty easy to do. However, here it's not the same. I want to say maybe in Europe things are more transparent. That's horrible.
Yeah, that was a terrible.
It was so bad we had to stop.
Yeah, we had to stop.
What was saying?
That was horrible.
So
Hey.
the same look, confused. You threw the ball, man.
For y'all that don't know, Eli just threw the worst pick ever. You know what I'm saying?
Like that's
Today.
not even to a really good receiver. So I mean,
it was almost like he threw a route to the other. But come back.
Sorry.
So we done talked about you. We done talked about your background.
Mm-hmm.
We done talked about your life in Europe. Bring me to recent Tinder experience, because like Tinder is 10 years, maybe 20 years removed from who you were when you were a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So talk about that. Let's get to that shit. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So a couple years ago, again, met somebody, talked with them a couple times, even did the video. All right. So real time. It's like, okay, everything seems legit. All right. So had a weekend.
A couple years ago though.
Yeah. We're talking like maybe when I was going to school down there in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Like a military school.
All right.
So so we met. Now, when I alluded to, we probably should have made more ground rules. It was a first date. So I don't know what the general public is when they think about first dates. Usually you might dress up, or if you're not going to dress up, you probably had that, that discussion like, hey, we doing simple casual. We got this going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Mm-hmm. But we were going to go to dinner and go see a movie first and then, go to dinner. So my expectations was, hey, we're probably going to dress up a little bit, So I made sure I had a really nice collar shirt, some decent jeans, some, the nice,
Yeah. You
so,
do your best to impress.
Right. First impressions, you only get them once, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, that was not her expectation, I should say. Because she came with these, it was these like yoga pants or workout capris or something,
mm-hmm.
flip flops, and almost like not a tube top, but like a spaghetti top or something. I don't know how you describe it.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
she was casual though,
like off the couch casual.
Off the couch.
Off the couch, yes.
You know what? We're gonna call that OCC.
OCC, off the couch casual.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna push it. We're gonna make it a thing.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, that was a little bit strange, but hey, I'm still game. Again, we didn't talk about it, so we're good. So we go watch the movie. Everything is good. So we're about to go have. We go, have dinner. So I was having like a good time. So I presented the idea of like, hey, let's just go to like a bar, maybe have a drink or something. And she got very upset.
What's she get upset about?
All right, she was like, "Oh, I don't need to be in a place with all that smoke." So,
okay, right.
so I scaled back. I was like, "Okay." Right. I was a little confused.
I don't like smoke either, so I'm cool with that.
So, So then I think I suggested like maybe like a lounge or something.
All right.
And
somewhere you hide in the dark because you dress like you don't know if you're going to the gym. You don't know if you.
Well, I already stomached that with dinners. Okay, so like, hey, it is good. But then when I did the lounge, she got upset again and was like, I said I didn't want to deal with anything with smoke. So now I'm kind of confused. Why? There's a big thing about smoke. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess maybe we find something else to do or do something else. And, she takes a pause and it's like, hey, well, I kind of have something I need to tell you. Okay. What you got for me? Well, I'm 3 months pregnant. So
Hey, hold up. I knew. Hey, I know that the story seemed like it was gonna be slow, but I like the fact that it escalated that quickly. Okay,
it did.
it escalated quickly. So you went from here to 3 months pregnant, and this is all off of Tinder.
Yes.
Tinder.
Yeah. You know. So I'm trying to process this right
Yeah.
away, and so I started thinking in my head like, let's say like we had a good time, and I bring around some of my friends maybe 2 months from now, and
me, bring her here, bring her here,
and then we sit there childhood stories that she'll be showing. So then the question would be like, hey man, I'm not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination, but how long have you known her? And then I don't want to have like all kind of random people just doing math. Like, man, I thought you just got here such and such, and
yeah,
so,
like pregnant, like 3 months pregnant, like pregnant.
Yes.
Like, so that's a new thing too.
Yeah.
That's a new thing too. People saying the same thing twice.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like about it ain't never been a thing.
Yes. Yeah. It's been there for like a long time.
Like, yo, I don't understand.
Yeah. So but yeah.
I'm having a time understanding that.
But yeah. So I just thought it was just crazy. Like it was something like a little bit too much for me to absorb in a short span of time. And then at this now, all this is I'm facing her, we're speaking, so I don't really have anything to like try to give me a moment to process this. So and then she says, oh well, I'm a surrogate, and in my head it's like, well, it's nice, but you should have told me that before we met up. Yes. So yeah, so needless to say, it did not work out.
Well, clearly, because like she had stepdaddy goals. So like, regardless of whatever her situation was with whoever she was working with, that's what you had to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But at least put it out there in space for me ahead of time. So then if I want to digest it or that's something I want to do, then I have the option to do it, as opposed to, bam, I'm going to slap you in the face with it and see how you like that.
Hey, my man Siku McHenry just said, that's not crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, hey, Siku, I'm all the way with it. He said a surrogate, a whole thing. He said that whole thing is interesting. What's the point of this story? The point is that, Julia, the point is that men deal with different things that women deal with also. I'd love to have a woman here come here and give her perspective about some of the things that she's encountered while being single and trying to date, mingle, all those different things. This is just a man giving his account of what his personal experience is. Because like I've said, so hold up. Let me go ahead and plug my book. Y'all see my book, right? I wrote this thing. This book, in this book, I say in the chapter about male fragility. Let me put this thing where y'all can see it. So y'all got that? It's in the code. It might have a glare. But in this book, I put in there that men and women do and experience the same thing, well, different things for the same reasons. So this man just experienced something that a woman would never experience if she was trying to date a man. A woman would never bump into a guy that was actually pregnant. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a family in the making. He could have had a woman pregnant, you know what I'm saying, and been trying to, you know what I'm saying, set something up with you. But the bottom line is that we're not much different. We just have different experiences that make us arrive to the same level of trust with one another. And in my book, I cover that, which is titled The Code. And it's the number one seller on Amazon right now. So bottom line is that we have peculiar experiences collectively. That's the point of the story. So Marquis, I greatly appreciate you sharing that. And I look forward to, in the future hearing more of your stories, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully to the point where they end. Because not only does he have these stories, that doesn't mean he wants to keep living them, you know? So we talk about those things on a regular basis, but I leave it up to his discretion what he chooses to share. And so I'm ready to move on to the topic of voting, and how important it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yo, Ace, what's happening, bro? Um, so here we go, right? Let's talk about voting, right? This is my opinion. This is how I feel about voting. So some people are at this point where they think that if they don't vote, it's make more of a statement than if they do vote. But if they bring up the state of politics and they have an opinion months after voting has been completed and compiled, their point is kind of like a moot point, because the reality is that black people did bleed for the right to vote. And in that process, you know what I'm saying, we have somehow fathered and mothered children that think that we have more political equity by not voting. And I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Because whether they be Democrat or Republican, they will never align their politics with the benefit of black people. Okay, they will align their politics with the appropriation of using black people's plights for their platform. You know what I'm saying? Like Republicans and Democrats both do it because they know they have to appeal to us. So, what are your thoughts on that, Marquis?
When it comes to voting,
Yeah.
I think everything you said, I agree with. It's real easy to have an opinion, but if you don't put forth something towards that opinion, then what are you really doing? You know, it's like the armchair quarterback. You know, like I should have did this. Well, you know, how can you relate if you haven't, you know, bought into the process? You know,
right.
But I'm with you, but it's kind of like the way of the politician. Like, hey, we're trying to, you know, get as many people involved. So if they need your help, then they'll try to appeal to your issue. But at the end of it, what's the vested interest for them to continue that? Maybe to stay in office, maybe to appease, like maybe their more powerful constituents. So it's kind of it's a shaky thing. And then you have issues with like voter registration. You know, I know there was a like in Georgia, I think there was like a big drive that went happened. I think with one of the I think potential candidates who did a big drive to get more people to vote, right, or at least register.
Right.
So now that the race in Georgia is, I think, it's close. It might have been for the governor.
Hey, while we there, tell the people where you from, bro.
Yeah, so I'm from Georgia, not Atlanta. There's other parts of Georgia outside of that. But small town, maybe 40 miles west of Macon.
Okay, so you're down I-75 on the bottom then.
Yeah, more central, like central Georgia. Yes.
All right, cool.
But yeah, back to the story. So I think it's a tight race. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the governor's seat there.
All right.
So with all these, you know, new voters, right? The race is close. So it just so happens that the person running for against the other, I guess, incumbent, right, happens to work on, I guess, the rules and regulations for voting. Okay, and because now the race is close, I think they put some kind of action or investigation to suspend all these new registration that have been built that would kind of essentially make the race more easy for the incumbent. So all that sounds pretty crooked to me. I mean, hey, it's a close race, so now I'm going to use this particular power to say these aren't valid, in hopes that that helps put you over the top, and that's nobody's really talking about that, I think.
Okay, so my man Ace, Ace Kane Johnson said, talk to him about the 50,000 plus being held up from voting by Kemp. Yo, I read mildly on that situation, and only because I live in the state of Texas, and it's Beto or no, it's Beto or nothing. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned. So, in that situation, what I do know is that people are not trying to count the absentee ballots, and I'm not sure what the intent of it is outside of a Republican initiative, but that situation right there is it just shows fear. It just shows that certain GOP initiatives are hinged upon them stopping or claiming Georgia. Now, I think they're looking at it in a strategic sense where they have to get all of the electoral colleges on point. I got to do a little bit of research to find out how many electoral colleges the Georgia holds. Do you know?
No.
Okay, I need to look at that. We know California, Texas, the other overpopulated areas absolutely hold the most, but Republicans see that as a significant political position in order for them to obtain, so they can retain some of the influence they have now going forward to, I guess, potentially sustain Trump's administration so he can get him elected for a second term. That's the only way it's going to happen. But we all know what Trump has to do is make deals or opportunities lucrative enough for current Republicans to make some money off of, so they can absolutely see why electing or re-electing Trump would be more beneficial for them in the long run. So I don't think nobody's lost on that at all. So let me see here. Georgia has 16 electoral college votes. So that's a significant number, you know what I'm saying, outside of being Texas, California, you know what I'm saying? And let me read what my man Siku has on here. So, hey, great topic, Ace. So, how you going to be in charge of the voting for the election while being one of the candidates in the election? That's significant.
Yes.
Yes, that's significant too. Huge conflict of interest, absolutely, by Julia. I think we're all on board with that. Kemp is trying to keep them both from voting for Abrams. It should be a conflict of interest, absolutely. Georgia has 16 electoral college votes. It's called Change Without Change, Organized Chaos. I agree with that. Florida, Rhode Island, and Georgia have some of the largest electoral college votes. And that was part of my point why I brought up the electoral college, because we don't know. A lot of times we lose sight of the fact why some states are more important than others. If you can't get California, if you can't get Texas, if you can't get
New York
on the electoral college votes where the population centers matter, then that's why they focus on. So they know what it takes, and whether they care or not, that's up to you being able to interpret that. You know what I'm saying? The Republican is the SEC of the state. He's trying to knock out the 50,000 voters whose ballots don't match their ID card. So if you have an hyphenated name on the ID card, then you should. Let me see. Thing move. You should have a hyphenated name on a registration. That's some bullshit, right? So we talking about hyphens? Or are we really trying to discount 50,000 votes because of hyphens? Is that where we're at?
It's a close race, man. So if you, I'm sure you have like maybe a decent amount of numbers that maybe fall into that category. But how easy would it be? Like, hey, we're just going to make some red tape.
All right.
We're not going to say we're not going to count them.
All right.
Let's just count them after the election. And like, okay, yeah, now we're going to count it when it doesn't count. So.
Hey man, don't mind me checking my phone. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of moving parts these days. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
All right. So we got voting discussed. Let me see what else in here. My man Ace is talking about, you know what I'm saying, what either of these political parties do for black men. I'm gonna expand on that later, and it's not listed on the topic list. But Ace, I got you, bro, because I'm here. I'm here for all of that work. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. That's what they bring it down to. My boy, my brother. Hey, look, that's my brother. Y'all see my man Cedric Vince. Yeah. Hey, look, if y'all see anybody with that name, they came to the family reunion. You know what I'm saying? We got similar socials. They know my mama. They know my auntie, because that name don't get floated around on a regular basis for no reason. But right now he blaming Nick Saban for Auburn's slawness. And I use the word slaw. I usually put slaw wherever I can. When it's trash, I refuse to call it trash, because trash would be an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gotta be trash, but when you slaw, don't nobody want slaw. Like, you ever got a barbecue plate and got slaw on the side? That's what Auburn is. But let me move on. Let me move on. I'm gonna come back to that. You know what I'm saying? The only reason they ain't lose this weekend because they ain't played. You know what I'm saying? So next on the list, I got my book. And I'm gonna make this about me. Y'all see this? I'm trying. Can y'all read that? Hey, look, I ain't got the look. You see that right there? Look, that's my book. The book is titled The Code. The Code is designed to be a blueprint to achieving solidarity among reasonable Black people. A lot of people don't know what solidarity means. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
you go pull out the Merriam-Webster, Webster on?
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that, man. Look, I'm not trying to do that, man. What I'm trying to do is, like, I'm trying to get Black people that are reasonable on the same sheet of music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like, being reasonable is a state of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of us don't see the same problem with the same path of solution. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think that's fair to say, right? Some people think we need to do this in order to get this type of result, and some folks think that we need to do this in order to get this type of result. I am of the opinion that we need all angles of approach until we figure out what doesn't work for us.
Right.
I don't think anybody disagrees with that. Let me check the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody's here. So I really don't care what everybody thinks, actually. So that's why I wrote a book. So at this point, which is the book is called The Code, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, inbox me right now for the links. That way I can hit you back later, because I didn't put it in the actual link for the actual bio.
Amateur, boy. What's going on?
Hey, man, yo, I am an amateur.
Step your game up.
I'm an absolute amateur, you know what I'm saying?
I know I'm a backseat mic person.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that, you know.
Hey, I'm okay with that criticism. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? You can't write a book and then expect not to be criticized, you know? Yeah. So, like, this was a significant venture for me. I went through a lot in terms of coming to the realization of some things that I always felt like was present. But until I started writing, you know, I didn't know how insignificant they were. But here we are, you know what I'm saying? I got a published book, and I could teach someone how to publish their own book. I can help them write their own book, and I'm here for it all day, because everybody's got something to commit to the struggle, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not above that criticism. So yeah, we got to stop playing checkers and play chess. My man Ace is always on it. Yo, let me tell y'all something about Ace. So me and Ace, we differ on a lot of ideological things when it comes to Black people, you know. But the reality is that both of us have Black people in mind. So that's what we connect, and that's what we agree. Just because it's different doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. Anybody disagree with that? Yeah. Oh, bro. Hey, said I'm gonna talk about white people, how they play. I should have put that on the list too, but we're gonna talk about that too. But right now we're talking about my book. So back to me. So right now, you know, me and Ace are prime examples of the diversity that my book, The Code,
you know what I'm saying, speaks towards. And we could come from different backgrounds and different methods of why we need to connect on different levels. That does not mean I don't have my man Ace in line. That doesn't mean that Ace doesn't have me in line, you know what I'm saying, with that demographic of diversity, so to speak, because we got to have different opinions from different sources in order to validate what's best for us. So, like, we've reached that point, and here we are. So that's why I wrote the book, because we could be great at more than one thing at the same time. We don't have to look no way that anybody intended for us to look to make them comfortable, because they killed Martin Luther King in a suit, they killed Malcolm X in a suit, they killed Abraham Lincoln in a suit, they killed JFK, they killed RFK, all in a suit. So it don't matter how professional we look. You know what I'm saying? At this point, we have to be able to relate to each other. We have to look at each other and feel empowered. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at each other and feel like, you know what I'm saying, the missing piece of my puzzle is in that person right there. And it has to come from a conversation. So that's not rooted in an ultimatum or some ulterior motive or anything like that. So I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to compel people to say, hey man, look at each other differently. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. And we need multiple opinions from different perspectives, you know what I'm saying, for it to be real. Let me see what else I want to harp on in that situation. So I got a chance to speak publicly about my book yesterday. It wasn't a whole lot of people that turned out, but the folks that did come, you know what I'm saying, I made sure I own my own craft the same way I would if it was a room full of, you know what I'm saying, 100 people versus what I had to work with. Even in that, I cared more about the dialogue between maybe 4 or 5 people, because if I reach 4 or 5 people, they get spread it to another 4 or 5 people, and that 4 or 5 people do the same thing. And then, you know what I'm saying, you got to start somewhere. That's the bottom line. If you never get out of your chair, nothing ever happens. And the things that you complain about, you become part of the problem if you never do anything about it. You know, we're at a crossroad right now where the things that we do every day actually make us money. You know what I'm saying? They actually do a service to our own community to where we could do something with the energy that we give one another. You know, we create allies by the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? The things that we have in conversation, because there's people that's out there that want to help us that don't know how to help us. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what they contribute. They don't know the value that they add, but we have to create value in that. We have to create equity for them to rise to, you know. So we have to do those things. But like, let me read these comments and see what we got popping on. Because I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I feel like, you know what I'm saying, everything I got to say, I have to say. Let's see here. Discussion maker talking about, hey Hershey, I appreciate you. I'm look, hey, if for those of y'all that don't know, y'all go ahead and add the Tanja Hirschberger. It don't look like it's pronounced that way, but that's the case. But her last name is Hirschberger, no matter how you look at it. She is one of my friends that I consider an ally. You know what I'm saying? That's a white person. She know what we're working with, and you know what I'm saying. She knows that having mixed kids ain't enough to make yourself seem like not racist. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the point. But she's been going after a PhD and she's been writing, you know what I'm saying? We've had multiple discussions over time. I don't react to a whole lot of her comments the same way I did, you know what I'm saying, before, because I really value the discussion that we got, you know what I'm saying, from one another when we actually dedicate the time that it requires to validate, you know, the connection that we do have. And you know what I'm saying, she adds value in every way. Let's see here. All right. So it's been a bye week for Alabama football. So we finna talk about college football, bro.
Okay. And everybody knows your affiliation, right?
Hey, look,
and,
whether they know.
You know, I'm from Georgia because I know what the next topic's going to be.
Oh, look. Hey, so, how did we get here?
I'm only saying that because I have bias inherently built in because I am from Georgia, and anybody that's a Florida fan, I hope you saw that game. Anyway, continue on what you.
Hey, her say go Dogs, man. She from around the way, man. You know what I'm saying? So she cool people.
Good. See, I got mixed kids too, so there you go. Ally, huh? So if she start roasting, I might have to hop on that.
Did you just use the mixed kids argument, bro?
Hey, man.
Hey, if that's what you're gonna work with, then go ahead, man. Hey, you stupid, bro.
Hey, I have to do it before we talk about how great Alabama is, and I don't know how many roll ties I'm gonna hear, so I'm just letting you know I gotta get it in now before Alabama fans are funny, but I'll let you go ahead. We gonna talk about the Floridians right now.
Yeah. So look, this is stated. Look, I never thought I'd see it, man. I almost feel like I need to go to the bathroom first before I talk about this. Disrespectful. Disrespectful, man. Hey, Florida football is disrespectful to the state of football right now.
You're saying to fans right now.
To the fans.
So we had to pick which one out of the big, let's say the big three, right? Florida State, Florida, and Miami.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom, man.
All right.
Yeah, you keep talking, bro. Keep talking. You got it.
So it's almost like hands down the worst out of the three. I think everybody would come to say Florida State right now. To the point where I think the coach made some comments that some guys quit in the middle of the game, and he's gonna fix that. And it wasn't like that. We're talking about a school that produced a lot of great players on different sides of the ball. So I don't know what's going on. I think the crisis, maybe picking on Florida State a little bit, but I don't know if that head coach is going to make it through the season. That's a hard realization that just had it. And I think he's a new coach, right? Well, I think he is. I think he is a new head coach, and normally there's some growing pains there, but I don't think it's going to be a really good season or the rest of the season. So we'll see how that goes. And then Miami, Miami had to get the what you talking about? Miami had to get our hand-me-downs with Mark Richt. Still think he's a good coach. Think they're doing all right, but it's not as dominant as they used to be. And the same can be said with Florida. Florida got a new coach this year too, didn't they?
Yeah, I think Dan Mullen is in.
Yeah. Who went to Georgia? Yeah,
he was at Mississippi State, and then he
coached with Kirk.
He coached at Florida. He actually called plays for Tim Tebow.
Yeah, but he played at Georgia. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
but
no, I was speaking about Florida State, man. What do they say? They're rebuilding at Florida State.
And man, look, I don't care what they
rebuilding anything right now.
Yeah,
it's like deconstruction, right?
hey, rebuilding is not an excuse to be trash, okay? And reason I say the state of Florida in football, you just talked about Florida University, right?
No, I was talking about Florida State.
Okay, Florida State. My bad.
Out of the
Willie
three,
Taggart. Willie Taggart. I like Willie, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he adds value. I just don't think that Florida State is the team for him. You know what I'm saying? That's one of them teams that's waiting to call him a nigga when they leave. When they lose, rather. So
it's one of those situations where like an old grandma in church would be like, bless him. Because he in a bad spot. Bless his heart.
Oh, he in a bad spot. Ooh, he in a bad spot.
I don't think he gonna make it to the end of the season, man.
Look, I don't care. Look, yo, he in a significantly disadvantaged position. Okay. And the reality is that if he doesn't hurry up and improve and be better than Florida, at least, it's not gonna last long.
I think he's in a position now where, when there's some games during the season, you go ahead and circle those because there's the wins. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, you got Bethune-Cookman coming through. Are you guys prepared? I don't invite your family out. Because it might not be just in there.
Yeah,
and, college teams smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you guys, we're gonna do this. Fourth down, we're gonna go for it. Man, you are not a hooper. But
hey, I try to flip that
but
from
you were never a hooper. So I mean,
no, don't say that. Don't say that because you remember that day when I murked y'all.
What day was this? This must have been the third. I know what day it was. That was December.
Yeah, 32nd. You know what day it was. That's what I'm talking about.
December 32nd.
No.
Or the 33rd.
Why are you lying?
Why? Because
you remember them trays came raining down.
Trays.
Hey,
what was this?
Call Dubose. Call Dubose right now. You don't want to talk about it? All right.
I don't know.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do not know.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Hey, Dubose do.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, he do. Every now and then he'll even hit me up and say, man, you ain't have to do us like that.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter if you remember or not. Just because you did remember doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Okay.
All right.
If you say so, man. It is your show, so I guess at the end of the day.
No. It's not just because it's my show. Don't default to that. I'm not gonna let you make it.
All
right. You know how this shit go. Yeah. So, all right. So I got some things that's not on the script that I didn't feel that I need to make an actual post for. So, and of those, we had to talk about these different mass shootings that are taking place.
Okay.
So let's let that soak in. I want everybody to catch up. So I started off on it and I talked about, you know what I'm saying, the aversion for white people to address, you know what I'm saying, the need to pursue a lot of these mass shooters that they already have profiled as mass shooters. They use FBI resources to track these individuals, and then as soon as something happens, and then shortly afterwards, they were like, yeah, we knew he was a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Kevin Wilson, what's happening, bro? Let me see here. Said, I'm not talking about Gus no more, bro. That shit dead. You know what I'm saying? Now they want to fire him. But anyway, so my point is that every time that they're able to articulate that they were watching this dude and they still allowed something to happen. So at what point do we have to say, hey, white people, you guys got to get other white people invested in stopping mass shooters? So Marquis, what do you think about that?
First and foremost, it's a horrible, thing to happen, especially with people in a place of worship, because that's the one place you would feel safe, if nothing else, I just want to harp on, I think comments that the president made afterwards that I think, just paraphrasing, something to the effect of maybe if they, had weapons in the synagogue, then they would have been better protected. And to me, I think that kind of goes away from what you should be saying, Now, I'm not going to sit here and claim hey, there's a certain script you should have with this.
Yeah, because that walks certain lines too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's I know everything he says is monitored with a fine-tooth comb.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's it's a crazy thing that in order to feel safer, they need to have weapons in there, so they can just be prepared for that. That's a scary thing to put out there on his platform. I mean, I guess that's the whole thing. With do teachers need weapons? Do hospitals need? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it, man. it's weird seeing that on an actual newspaper, and I don't know how to process that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's so new, and to the point where we are right now, I don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's the actual topic now. You know what I'm saying? We have to consider teachers being armed. Yo, like black people grew up in disadvantaged positions with different paths to the same reasoning. And never did I grow up thinking that other kids at some point was going to bring a gun to school with the intent to hurt other people. Because in black communities, if somebody bring a gun to school, they got a target, right?
Right.
They either flexing or they got a target. But white people come to school with the gun. Well, non-black people come to school with the gun to become, you know what I'm saying, like this famed, the twisted fantasy that everybody else has been dreaming out, but they have finally been able to act out on. But for whatever reason they do it, nonetheless does not diminish the fact that it's still terrorism, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the reluctance of our own officials that are in elected positions to call it terrorism doesn't help us rationalize where we are every day as Americans. But, you know, that creates the actual, well, it doesn't create, it validates the division that we feel, you know what I'm saying, from everyone else. So it makes it a topic. So where we are right now, you know what I'm saying, in terms of social equity, politics, things of that nature, that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, how we got here. But we can come back on randoms on that. Let me stay on the timeline. So I got music on here, bro. And right now, T.I.'s Dime Trap is speaking to me. So, like, what's speaking to you right now?
Oh man, I'm on a I don't want to say like an underground kick. I'd say I'm on a maybe a lesser known artist kick right now. So
who you listening to right now?
Oh man, there's a guy called Toby Lou that's really good.
Okay, I don't know much about him, but
then there's the internet.
Oh yeah, the internet has been around though.
Yeah, they did been around, but I think they need like a lot more people should check them out.
Yeah,
they
look,
have a lot of good stuff.
I got a friend of mine named Eva Reed. She put me on the internet.
Yeah.
And then that was like maybe, I want to say about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen some of this stuff and I appreciate live performance. I have yet to catch them live. But the vibe that I get from their music, I'm like, yo, I'd love to see them live. So,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm on right there in that regard.
Almost like a path of like the Roots as far as live instruments. Have a really good vocalist. It's just good music. There's another one, Kate Trinata. I don't know if I think his album, his debut album, I think it was like 99% or something to that effect. But just good. It's a DJ. He grabbed a lot of artists. And he put some beats out there and really good. Kind of got like a hot, maybe up tempo stuff, some soul stuff. It's really good. I just kind of float around with all kind of music anyway. I haven't had a chance to check out the T.I. though. But
hey
that's
man,
what I gotta do though.
Dime Trap, like when I look at artists at this point in my life, like I turned 40 in February. Like I ain't no hand-to-hand crack selling dude. I ain't throwing money in no strip club.
Yeah. I didn't get up. I didn't woke up this morning and left the band out. So.
Yo, I got
my traps. You know?
Yo, I got a dog that I got to give an insulin shot to. So even on the weekend, I got to set him up.
From trap.
Right,
okay?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I have become the old head that my dog needs at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. Yeah, but the thing is though, I need my music to kind of reflect where I'm at some point, and not necessarily where I used to be or want to be. I need to reflect timeline wise. Like if I had to pick an album that was gonna be my soundtrack to my everyday life, I'd have to go with T.I.'s Dime Trap right now. So if you had to pick an album that was a soundtrack to your life right now, who you would go with?
Oh man, you can't, because I love music so much. It had to be like
let's just pick a Monday.
It'd be a sorted album.
Right. That's why I said let's pick a Monday.
Pick a Monday.
Yeah.
Man,
like anything, and when you pick Monday, you pick whatever brand of music you want, and then you expand on why. Because like the whole point of that discussion is so we want to make sure we bridge some gaps. There's some opportunities out there to listen to something different.
Okay. It really just Monday usually is like something a little higher up tempo when I get up in the morning, early, gotta go to work. Man, it's it's hard, and that's a hard thing for me to do with some music.
Well, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
But I tell you what, if I had to pick any artist or album that was a soundtrack to my life, man, like at this point in bruh, Chris' last album, you know what I'm saying, the double CD, the double album.
Who's
Big Crit?
Big Crit, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think like undervalued.
Like he can never be overrated. He will always be undervalued. But like, nonetheless, that's how I feel. Like, there's no part of any of the things that he's produced that makes me feel like, that I'm missing something. Like he gets it all, right?
Right.
And then, so earlier today, well, not earlier today, but last week, my man James Hines posted a meme. I think it had Lil Wayne, Joe Budden, Ludacris, and it had T.I. on it, and trying to decide which one's the best MC. I chose Joe Budden. You know what I'm saying? It's the best MC. And
out of all of them?
Yes, because this is why. Because Joe Budden came in with bars. Not saying that T.I. or any of the other artists didn't. You know what I'm saying? But like, because this is a tight race. But like when you look at keeping a theme to an album, you look at filler bars and who has the most. Wayne has the most filler bars. You know what I'm saying? Ludacris punches in a lot. That doesn't mean what he has to say isn't actually a dope punchline or whatever. But like, when the last time you listened to a whole Ludacris album? Even though Ludaversa was dope.
Right.
So when you listen, so now we down to Joe Budden and we down to T.I. for me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when it come down to the decision making between the two, Joe Budden actually battle rap.
If we're talking like the best when it comes to, I think it depends on the categories you should. For me personally, it goes categories of like how you're gonna, label stuff. If you're talking about like one that has like bars and
bars and substance, bro.
Bars and substance.
That's what we're talking about right now. Not just beats.
I think one of the without beats, I think Eminem has to be up there, man, because like what he can do.
But that's not the list I gave you, though.
Right. But like,
I want you to operate off the list. I just want you to operate off the list.
All right. So the list you gave me was Ludacris,
yes,
T.I., Lil Wayne, and Joe Budden.
Yep.
Out of those guys, yeah, I'd give you that. I'd give you Joe Budden
on
that list. But you handcuffed me with that list.
Hey, that was the point. I got to handcuff you because like if you give me a list and I get to go walk off of it, I'm gonna say Black Thought.
Okay, and I put him up there, and I'd have him really close with Joe Budden.
I'd argue that nobody is messing with Black Thought. I don't think Jay-Z is messing with Black Thought at no point.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not talking about success. We're not talking about business ventures. We're strictly talking about maybe lyrics and stuff. But that would be close too, because Jay-Z's no slouch. So, but yeah, I think I'd probably give it like Black Thought over Jay-Z.
Yeah,
I could say that. That'd be easy.
I mean, if you listen to the Roots and you know what he's about, and we touched we just talking about.
I really like the Roots too, so that's
Yeah.
where my bias is.
And solely we just talking about, you know what I'm saying, rap.
Right.
We're not talking about all that extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like because like if you itemize it and you break it down to who sold the most albums, then you can throw anybody in that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
But
like
when you talk with I think we'd be remiss when we talk about Jay-Z, we don't talk about domestic violence. Because somebody should have arrested Solange. Because you should not be beating a grown man like that on camera in an elevator. Like I would think he needs some help, because he did take it pretty bad, but what can he do? But I think it's hilarious to me.
Well, I wanted to do this as a pilot episode, so I've kind of like reached my conclusion on it. You know what I'm saying? So let's recap a couple things. My man Marquis just talked about, being single, a single black male dating in Central Texas. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure we itemize that specifically to where we are, because everything's not the same everywhere you go.
Correct.
But his experiences may translate to something to a person that's experiencing similar situation in a different, geographical set. So let's not dismiss that. Bottom line is that for men to understand is that men deal with a lot of the same stuff that women deal with. And this is also for women to understand. Men have a specific set of situations that could definitely be, impairing to us as we go forward and trying to make sure we find that specific mate that's meant for us. Number 2, voting. Go vote. Look, black people, you're gonna meet somebody that's too woke. And what I say by too woke is somebody that comes up with these ridiculous ideas that think that because you don't vote, there's some power in it. Never have we ever benefited from not having political equity. That's part of the reason why we are in the state that we are in right now. I saw where a couple years ago, Nick Cannon had something that was stirring people to some degree, but I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, it was talented, but they don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, until you get up and go vote, I don't want to hear your fucking conversation about political equity, you know what I'm saying, and black people in the same sentence. But there's nothing that we could absolutely talk about, because if you did vote, we don't have nothing to talk about. All right. Let's see here. My book. If you have not, I need you to go pick this up. If you're confused about where to go get it, it is located. You see that? Can you read all the words on that? If you're confused about where to go get it, look at my profile picture, and then you can look at the caption, and the links are in there. If you don't know what a caption is, if you don't know what a profile picture is, go look at my cover photo. The links are in there. If you are still yet confused after these 2 blocks of instruction, email me and I will send you the link. If you don't know how to email me, that's one thing. And by email, I would simply mean inbox. But if you don't know how to inbox me, you probably don't need the book. So at this point,
just call your IT support.
That kids, too, yeah.
Because I'm sure your kids know how to operate.
Yeah, I'm trying to give everybody every outlet on how to contact me on getting this book. For those of you that need an audio book, it's coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this live session was a test run to see how, our audio would sound, because I already see that, we got mics now. I got a mixer, you know what I'm saying? I got on some headphones, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to turn it into the next big thing. The intention is there. The state of Florida football, y'all trash, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, that's a real short note. Let's keep moving. Hey, Tyrell Bivens, hey, I love you, bro, but your team trash, and they contribute to the trash, you know what I'm saying? Music, quit lit. You know what, man? I ain't gonna tell people what they supposed to listen to. But I tell you what, man, y'all better quit assigning certain value to folks that ain't gonna be around in 5 years. Ain't nobody gonna ever have no classic, you know what I'm saying, Riding Dirty album, you know. That ain't gonna happen. But part of that, our responsibility on folks that do look for that, we gotta stop looking for a classic Riding Dirty album. Okay. Overall, I look forward to future dialogues. There's a new podcast coming. It's got my name all over it. It's gonna be called the Reasonable Radical, and it's pivoted off of my book. You know what I'm saying? The Code. Can you see that? Yeah. And it's available on Amazon. It's a #1 bestseller. It's my next platform, and I'm trying to ride a wave. I'm trying to create my own, and in the midst of all of that, I'm trying to create a wave for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm out. My guest Marquis, you know what I'm saying? He's saying what's out.
Yep.